this top 5 video we will discuss a rather unusual theme. I think everyone heard about Andrei Chikatilo, probably the most well-known serial killer in Russian history. He committed more than 50 murders. But some animals would have laughed at that number if they could. So we're gonna talk about the beasts who killed people not only for food. The first incident took place in the Japanese village of Sankebetsu in December of 1915. In that area lived a huge brown bear called Kesagake. Every now and then he entered the village to eat some corn which was grown by the villagers. Eventually they got annoyed with the impudent beast and decided to kill him, but they only managed to wound Kesagake. He ran away into the mountains to heal his wounds and to build up the anger. A few weeks later he came back to kill a daughter and the wife of one of the villagers. He dragged the woman's corpse into the forest. 30 men gathered and entered the forest to kill the beast. It was easy to track him down as the blood track was fresh. They met Kesagake and shot him, but couldn't kill him again. The brown bear retreated and realized that the village remained unprotected as all the guardsmen were trying to catch him. He returned to Sankebetsu and attacked the Miyoki family house, where he killed 2 children and a pregnant woman. According to the witnesses, she begged the bear for mercy, but it was useless. When the hunters realized their mistake, they came back to the village. The Miyoki house looked more like a slaughterhouse. The villagers were horrified and the majority of the guardsmen simply ran away. In several days, Kesagake killed 7 more men. In the end, hunters from the nearby villages and towns gathered to kill the beast, which they did after a few days of tracking him down. Horrible murders finished, but a lot of those who were wounded and injured by the bear died. Similar story happened in India in 1957. A young bear was injured by people and grew up being very angry and aggressive. One day he decided to get even with humans and started to attack everyone he met. He didn't eat the majority of his victims, so that means that the hunger wasn't his motivation. By the moment the beast was shot down, he had killed 12 men. These stories are indeed horrifying, but paraphrasing the words from the Scorpions song, the worst is yet to come. The following story became the basis for 3 feature movies and a book. As part of the construction of a railway linking Uganda with the Indian Ocean at Kilindi Harbour, in March of 1898 the British started building a railway bridge over the Tsavo River in Kenya. The project was led by Lieutenant Colonel John Henry Patterson. All was going fine, but one day the Indian workers started missing at night. Nobody could guess why they were disappearing. But then they learned that those were 2 maneless male Tsavo lions who stalked the campsite, dragged the workers from their tents and devoured them. A group of hunters was sent to track the predators down and kill them, but they failed to succeed. During the next several months of construction, the lion attacks became a daily routine. After some time, the beasts became so insolent that they started to eat their prey just a few meters from the camp. Crews tried to scare off the lions and build campfires and bomas or thorn fences around their camp for protection to keep the man-eaters out. To no avail, the lions leaped over or crawled through the thorn fences. Patterson then invented a skillful trap. It was made of a train car, which was divided in 2 parts by a steel railing in the middle. In one half there was an alive bait, sitting with a loaded rifle. One of the lions got trapped inside the other half, but unfortunately the poor fellow with a gun got so scared that he accidentally shot the lock and the beast escaped. After that, the man-eaters started to attack the campsite even at daytime. Because of the size and ruthless aggression of the lions, the workers thought they were demons. Eventually, the Indians abandoned the area and the construction of the bridge stopped. After that, Lieutenant Colonel Patterson decided that he had had it with these lions and went into the wildlands to kill the monsters. He found the lion's lair, a cave near the Tsavo River, which was filled with the remains of dozens of people. This was very unusual because normally lions don't have lairs at all. Also, Patterson found out that the predators ate less than a half of all the workers they had dragged from the camp. So this means they were killing people just for fun. After repeated unsuccessful attempts, he shot the first lion on December 9th of 1898. 20 days later, the second lion was found and killed. The construction crew returned and finished the bridge in February of 1899. This story also inspired scriptwriters. It took place in the former French province of Gévaudan between 1764 and 1767. In June of 1764, a young girl who was pasturing sheep in the field was brutally murdered. 1 month later, 2 kids were found dead. During the following 2 months, 5 more children were killed. 2 local hunters managed to track down the beast and even wounded, but the killer ran away. After some time he came back and continued to terrorize the province. He got a nickname of the Beast of Gévaudan. When the number of attacks became really scary, the government officials became involved in this matter. Military was sent into the woods of Gévaudan to kill the man-eater, but they failed. In October, 2 hunters met the animal and shot it, but the predator managed to escape once again. This encounter enraged the man-eater, and he started to kill people even more frequently. Most of the victims remained almost untouched, so the hunters came to a conclusion that the Beast of Gévaudan was killing people for pleasure and fun. In April of 1765, the animal attacked a group of 4 children and killed them all. During the following year, more than 100 attacks and more than 50 deaths were recorded. Curiously enough, the beast killed only humans, even if the cattle was around. Another strange thing in this case was that nobody could clearly describe the beast. Witnesses' statements greatly varied. One said that it was a wolf dog, the others claimed it was a leopard or a panther. Some of them believed it was a hyena which escaped from a menagerie of some sort. Though most people are sure that hyenas are cowardly scavengers, in fact, they are quite dangerous predators. For example, in 2003, one particular hyena terrorized the territory of Malawi in Africa. Because of her attacks, 4,000 people abandoned their homes. Nevertheless, this problem was solved pretty quickly, which cannot be said about the Beast of Gévaudan. It ignored all the baits and escaped all the traps and all the battues. For 3 years, nobody could catch or kill the predator. With all that being said, it's safe to say that it wasn't just a mad man-eater. It was a very clever and witty animal. That's why the peasants were sure that they were dealing with a werewolf. But in the end, all the specialists and hunters came to a conclusion that it was just an extremely aggressive and large grey wolf. The other problem was that the area was inhabited by thousands of wolves. Because of that, the officials ordered to kill every wolf the hunters could find. A ruthless extermination of innocent animals began. Entire wolf packs were slaughtered, but the Beast of Gévaudan was still alive because more and more dead human bodies were found in the fields and forests. The number of these attacks made people think that there were more than one animal. Some witnesses said that they saw the beast accompanied by another man-eater. There were even reports that once or twice some mysterious person was seen beside the killer wolf. This version inspired the scriptwriters of the movie called Brotherhood of the Wolf. The bloody story of the Beast of Gévaudan ended on June the 19th of 1767 during one of the most massive battues. One of the hunters, called Jean Chastel, managed to kill the man-eater. Being a very religious person, Jean loaded his rifle with blessed silver bullets. During arrest, a huge grey wolf jumped out of the forest near Chastel. Without any hesitation, he shot the animal twice. Upon being opened, the animal's stomach was shown to contain human remains of a girl which had disappeared the day before. By the moment the Beast of Gévaudan was killed, it had murdered more than 100 inhabitants of the province. The next character of our video differs from the others. The thing is that he's still alive. We're talking about the scariest man-eater of our time, an old large Nile crocodile from Burundi called Gustave. Since Gustave has not been captured, his exact length and weight is unknown, but in 2002 it was stated that he could be easily more than 6 meters long and weigh more than 900 kilograms. He is rumored to have killed as many as 300 humans from the banks of the Ruzizi River and the northern shores of Lake Tanganyika. According to a popular local warning, he is said to hunt and leave his victims' corpses uneaten. This means he's not just a predator, but a serial killer. Gustave was estimated to be around 100 years old in order to achieve such outstanding size. However, furthermore, careful observation of Gustave revealed a complete set of teeth when he opened his mouth. Since a 100-year-old crocodile should be nearly toothless, according to the documentary film about him, he was estimated to be probably no older than 60 and likely still growing. More than once people tried to hunt down the monstrous reptile, but all the attempts were unsuccessful. Gustav is known for the 3 bullet scars on his body. His right shoulder blade is also known to be deeply wounded. In 2004, they tried to capture the crocodile with the help of a 9-meter-long steel cage trap and different kinds of bait, but none of them attracted Gustav or any other animal. All the photos with the dead body of the man-eater are fake, because in June of 2015, one resident claimed that Gustav dragged an adult bull buffalo on a riverbank. And our number 1 pick for today's list is the Champawat tiger. The Champawat tiger was a female Bengal tiger responsible for an estimated 436 deaths in Nepal and the Kumaon area of India, mostly during the 19th century. Her attacks have been listed in the Guinness Book of World Records as the highest number of fatalities from a tiger. The man-eater began her attacks in the region of Nepal close to the Himalayas during the late 19th century, with people being ambushed by dozens as they walked through the jungle. Hunters was sent in to kill the beast, but she managed to evade them. After the number of deaths exceeded 200, the Nepalese army was called in. Despite failing to capture or kill the tiger, soldiers managed to force the tiger to abandon her territory and drive her across the border to India, where she continued her killing activities in the Kumaon district not far from the town of Champawat. She eventually grew bolder and began killing people in broad daylight and prowling around villages. Life across the region grew paralyzed, with men often refusing to leave their huts for work after hearing the tiger's roars from the forest. In 1907, after the number of the animal's victims exceeded 400, the Indian government was in despair. Their last hope was a legendary British Indian hunter and tracker, Jim Corbett, known for killing dozens of man-eating tigers and leopards. He was a true professional and could easily track down such animals. 3 years later, by the way, in 1910, he killed the Panner leopard, which killed around 400 people. It didn't take Corbett long to track down the Champawat tiger. The predator had killed a 16-year-old girl in the town and left a trail of blood and limbs, which Corbett followed. After the renowned hunter spotted the animal, he shot it dead without hesitation. The residents of the nearby villages and town canonized Jim Corbett for putting an end to a horrible massacre.